edition of the Contractors Secret Weapon weekly podcast with your hosts, Dave Negri. This program is dedicated to helping contractors, remodelers, painters, roofers, roof cleaners, and business owners in the construction industry gain an unfair advantage over the competition. This program supplies you with information that the competition doesn't even know exists. This session brought to you by ContractorsSecretWeapon.com.
Before we get into the conversation with you, I just want to do a shout out to our sponsors who help promote Contractors Secret Weapon and just some of the things that they have in store for you, our listeners. Hey, is your phone ringing enough? Do you want it to ring more with highly motivated and qualified buyers that contact you, the contractor, directly? No more waiting for the phone to ring. Just answer that phone. Best Home Services leads are dedicated to making your phone ring with motivated buyers that call you directly. There's no obligation to talk with them. Just go to contractorsecretweapon.com/money. Fill out the form to secure your discount on the setup fee. Do it today. This special will not last forever. Check them out at contractorsecretweapon.com/money.
Running a small business is no easy task, and I should know because I had a service company for almost 10 years. I am the founder of a software called RadiusBomb, and it's unbelievable. And for all the listeners of Contractors Secret Weapon, we have a special offer for you to check out. If you want to send hyper-targeted, laser-focused, super personalized postcards to your exact prospects using a map while sitting in your underwear, then go to contractorsecretweapon.com/RadiusBomb, and we'll give you your first 100 postcards for free. Just go to contractorsecretweapon.com/RadiusBomb.
Hey, this is Dave Negri with Contractors Secret Weapon. Today I have a really neat guest with us today, John Bowen. And John has written a book, co-authored with Dan Sullivan Joe, The State of the Entrepreneur. It's a study they did of about 3,500 business owners on 6 key topics that made them successful, the 6 key things, the 6 top things that did that. And so as we go through the interview today, the talk, I just want you to take notes because these are some really cool and poignant things that are the golden nuggets that will help you grow in your business. But let me tell you a little bit about John. He's a successful entrepreneur and founder of 4 multi-million-dollar companies, including AESNation.com, Financial Advisor Select, CEG Worldwide. During his experience as a financial advisor managing assets upwards of $25 billion, he found that most institutional advisors lacked the strategy necessary to build a practice that would make them indispensable to the ideal affluent client while building a great quality of life. This led to founding the CEG Worldwide organization in 2000 and continues to grow. John is a prolific author, more than 15 books to his name, and a regular columnist for the Huffington Post and Financial Planning. He is also the host of Accelerating Entrepreneurial Success podcast. So you're going to get a treat today. John has got some awesome things. Let's welcome him. John, I just want to thank you today for being with us and sharing your book with us, the stuff that you got from the State of the Entrepreneur.
Well, Dave, it's a real pleasure. I have a tremendous respect for my fellow entrepreneurs. And, I was blessed with Dan Sullivan of Strategic Coach and Joe Polish and I of Genius Network. And the 3 of us said, nobody's really doing research on successful entrepreneurs and what separates the most successful among us. And we had the privilege of going to to all 3 of our audiences and said, hey, would you fill out almost a half an hour survey with us? And we had 3,500 entrepreneurs do it. So we've got some great insights that we've gotten. I love making that available, and we'll be making that available to all your listeners.
That'd be awesome. So as you put together your data and stuff, and you come up with these 6, I'm sure you came up with more factors, but I'm sure that there's 6 key ones, like you said earlier, that are the most prevalent to making an entrepreneur successful. What are they?
Well, it's really what happens so often, Dave, in business is when we get in, we're all a little bit ignorant. We think business is simple, and then all of a sudden it gets so complex and we get overwhelmed. And one of the things I know you want to do and I want to do is we want to help our fellow entrepreneurs, get on the right side of complexity and make it simple again. And when we did that, we saw 6 things. If you did these 6 things well, and it didn't matter what business you were in, this is what you need to do to be very, very successful. And so when we kind of go high, why don't we go high level? I'll go rattle them off quick, Dave, and then let's dive in a little bit on each.
Okay, excellent.
So the first one is you've got to nail it. No matter what business you're in, you got to deliver a world-class customer or client experience. You have to. Anybody with money has choices in today's world. Second is you have to be able to scale it. So once you've got that client experience, you've got to be able to scale it and really attract a steady stream of customers, clients. And then once we have that, those are the foundation of any business. But what happens is that at certain levels, it's different at every business model, we kind of peter out. We can't do anymore until we organize it. We have to really make our business systematic. And then while we're doing all this, what we've got to do is monetize it. We've got to increase profitability, the margins, and increase the value, the equity value in our business. And then, we're building this great business, and that's all real good, but we have to keep some of the money too. We got to build our personal wealth. We got to take care of the people we love and the causes we care about. So we got to create the personal financial freedom so that we can make the decisions irrespective of our business. And then, really we're in business not for more business. We're in business to support a great quality of life. So the 6th one is we've got to live it. And that's enjoying a great quality of life for all those around us. Every stakeholder, our clients and customers, our teammates, partners, we have shareholders, and obviously our families and ourselves, Dave.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's just amazing. And then, like you said, we make it complex. So making it simple, I like that part.
Well, it's really the more, and simple a lot of times is nothing more than getting focus. So often in business, we're all, once we start having success, we start thinking we're really talented. And we forget that if we can just focus in on that one thing. I always go back and think of City Slickers, where Curly says all you got to do is one thing good in life, and that's it. And in business, it really is that. When we start doing too many things, that's when we run into problems.
Wow. And that one thing good could be a multiple. Really, it could be the wow factor. It could be delivery service. It could be a multiple of things. But if, like you said, the one thing that you're really good at, that's the one thing that nobody's going to steal from you.
Well, and what I like, there's a fellow I worked with, Joey Coleman, and did a podcast with him as well. And I'm forgetting the name of his company, Dave, but Joey has this concept of the first 100 days. And I would encourage all our fellow entrepreneurs to think about what is that, if somebody decides to engage you, to work with you, what's the 100 days? And, as a contractor, sometimes you may only come in for one piece of business, but the reality is the hardest piece of business to get in any business is that first step. And if we can get them so that they're having an experience with us, that they're going to use us ongoing. And it's, as you said, Dave, wow. So they want to share us with their friends. And boy, the ability on social media anymore, so often that's where we're finding a lot of the people we want to work with and we're hearing from others how well they're doing.
Yeah, that's really the amazing thing. So many avenues have opened today to get business rolling for us.
Well, let's go to number 2, which
sure.
is what we're looking at here is scaling it. And so we now have a great experience, and we're really doing something well. And to the extent that we can create a steady stream, this is the one thing we all want. I don't know that I've ever met anybody that said, geez, I don't want any more customers, any more clients. And actually I can say a few people have, but they're usually they don't want to grow their business. They're kind of in the process of getting out of the business.
Right.
But if you want to build a substantial business, be an entrepreneur, you got to have that steady stream of clients coming in. And what we live in a great time, Dave, because what's going on with today with the internet, the ability to market and lower costs. I mean, the big thing used to be, hey, we'll buy a page in the Yellow Pages. Right. It was very hard to differentiate ourselves. Now we have so many different ways to reach out, but we can never forget that the most important source is referrals. And it's not only client referrals, but it's also those strategic partners that we have. And we do a lot of research in this, and we find that the most successful business owners, and I'm going to use success, it's hard to measure, success means different things to different people, but at $1 million or more net income, we count as very successful in every business. And what they're doing is usually over half is through strategic partners. They're looking, they see the gatekeepers. I do a lot of work with financial advisors, and it's the accountants and attorneys there. With contractors, depending on your service, who is somebody that already has all your clients that would be perfect for you? Building strategic relationships with them is so powerful.
Yeah, because really, I'm just thinking about it now. That cuts your marketing costs to almost zero.
Well, I'm just thinking of, I had a good friend that just moved out of the area about a year ago, but he was unbelievably talented kind of in remodeling, and he was a terrible marketer, but, just a great technician, but not a business person. And we sat down over a drink, and I said, you got to do something, Mark, with this. And he goes, well, can you refer? And I go, Mark, I'm only one client. I might be able to introduce you when it comes up, but why don't you go to where it is? And, I introduced him to a couple of good friends that were the top architects in our area for remodels. And then he never, he got all the business that he ever needed.
Yeah.
And that's what, rather than, all the, the Yellow Pages ad or the social media on Facebook, let's think bigger. Where do those people, where are they already that they have a trusted relationship with someone that you can earn?
So think beyond the onesies and the twosies individual clients and think about the people that already have your clients.
And it's a lot more fun. And then, then organize it, systematic. We want to have our business systematic. And the reason for that is, if we're always doing one-off stuff, it becomes very, very difficult. We want to be successful on purpose. We want to take deliberate actions to whatever the goals that we're looking to do. And we want to do it very efficiently. The more streamlined, the more effective it's going to be. And this is where, I love flow charting out exactly what we're going to do, putting it in writing so it becomes real. And that is, we're just seeing that over and over again. That's transformational for most businesses.
Because they get an eye on it, huh?
Yeah, well, and what it does is they start looking at, when we start mapping it out in the beginning, I know I had this experience. I've got multiple businesses and been very successful over the years, been very fortunate, blessed, and I've had the chance to work with, we do research on every level of wealth, all the way up to what we call the super rich, people with 500 million or more, and I think we've done as much research on billionaires as anyone. And what we see is they really are focused and they're very clear. Oftentimes they're not the person doing the operational side, but they have somebody that just maps it out, and anything that's not important is killed. They're going to make it as simple and elegant as possible. And this improves not only the quality of life of the entrepreneur, the contractor, but also the team around it. They love it, and they'll work with you to simplify it. And that's where it really becomes great.
Yeah, I would imagine so.
Well, let's talk about, as we do, so we're going to nail it. We're going to deliver a great experience. We're going to scale it. We're going to start having that steady stream of clients coming in. Then we're going to organize it so we have the processes all in place. We have written procedures to do that. Then we're going to monetize it because now we've got it working so we can make it more profitable. So we're looking at, we're working with someone. You can get a virtual CFO, but having somebody that really is outside the business, that's looking at the financials and looking at kind of what the exceptions are. What can we do to actually make this more profitable? And what we find over and over again, there's so many ways to increase profitability. And when we're so busy in our business doing it, we don't see that. And then as we do that, the value of our business increases because now we've got the systems. We become less important to the business. And the value then, if you choose to sell your business, just goes up significantly. And then what I like most about this is then, the concept of keeping it, creating personal financial freedom is so important because as we increase the profitability, we've got to take some of the money out of our business. It's so tempting to keep on investing it, growing the business. But as we take it out and we build our personal wealth, we now have some freedom because we all know stuff happens and we're not going to be able to really be successful in our business, if we don't have the capital resources. And this is something, Dave, I really feel passionate about because my dad, I grew up in upstate New York, had a great life, a small town of 4,000, but my father and uncle were one of the major employers, number 2 employer with 400 employees in a cast iron foundry business. And he gave me every dirty job in the place. And I was kind of being groomed to be, run it down the road. I was the oldest son. And lo and behold, in my junior year in college, I'm waiting for the call to hear that I'm going to get the air-conditioned job finally this year. And he calls me and he tells me, John, I've got some bad news. Your uncle and I are going to put the foundry into bankruptcy. I'm going to go out. He's going to wind it up. I'm going to go get a job because I need the income. Oh, and your mom and I are going to get a divorce.
Oh, wow.
And it's like, it was at that moment. I mean, I reflected and I just standing there in shock. And I go, Dad, are you going to be okay? And the toughest thing was when he said, I don't know.
Yeah.
And this is where at that moment, I didn't want that ever to happen again. And I changed my major, focused on financial, and became one of the top financial advisors in the country. And I sold my businesses in '98. I started a small mutual fund company, managed a couple $2 billion of money for top executives here in Silicon Valley. So and then I did sports and entertainment. I was CEO of a sports and entertainment financial group that we had 600 clients that, the vast majority, we had the most NFL quarterbacks as well as a lot of people in front of the camera. And I saw they were screwing up too. And this was, I just see this as universal, Dave, and business owners. We have so many opportunities to really plan. And I got to tell you even more with this new tax law. Yeah. It's going to be so important to get advice. I was just talking with a bunch of $1,200 an hour tax attorneys before we got together here. And, there's so many things that we're all going to be able to do. We're going to need to make sure we're working with the right people because we have a not too silent partner working with us. The government taking we want it to be fair and equitable, but there's a lot of planning that we can do. And then, the last part is as we're doing all this, we got to live. We got to enjoy a great life. And I find too many business people, what we get caught up with is we're all about business. And then people tell us we have to have balance. And I don't believe in balance. I believe in harmony. I've got a wife of 37 years. It hasn't always been balanced. I don't have children, but I've got an awful lot of interest, a whole bunch of things going on in my life and multiple businesses. And what you do is you want to design your life to be successful on purpose and have those fun things. You've got to schedule. I got to tell you, behaviorists tell us, Dave, 6 weeks out of the year, we should be taking off to recharge ourselves. And most entrepreneurs, we can't unless we schedule that early on. But that forces us to do all the other steps to get our business in such great shape that it's going to run without us, which creates so much value.
Yeah, I like that thought. 6 weeks out of the year. I mean, gear. We need it to recharge, and I think so many of us are just going and going. I feel like that ever-ready that bunny, right?
Yeah, and and particularly, I mean, the demands on the profession that you work with is just, it's nonstop, and there's shortages of contractors, at least in my area, and the demand, and if you don't carve out time for yourself, you eat yourself up, and nobody's going to appreciate that.
Right. No, I agree wholeheartedly.
You're not going to be of service to anyone, at the end of the day.
Yeah. No, I agree wholeheartedly. This has really been awesome. I got 2 pages of notes here.
Well, I was just looking. I've got let me look and see how many pages. I've got about 100, or no, it's only about 81 pages. It's kind of almost an EBook type, and it's really a great overview. And one of the things we were talking before we turned on the mic, I do podcasts as well. I have a site called AES Nation. It's Accelerating Entrepreneurial Success, aesnation.com, where you'll be able to get this book, as well as really follow some of the research and interviews that I'm doing with very successful entrepreneurs. And one of the things we want to do is, let's not try to figure it all out ourselves. Let's go ahead and work with really talented people that can help us make it all happen.
Yeah, because everyone needs a team to grow.
Well, we do, and we don't need them all as employees. We can, outsource this, and we always like to work with people who have already walked the road ahead of me,
right.
And they know how to do it, Dave, as yourself, and that's where it really comes together.
That's really awesome. So this has really been really intriguing, just going through those 6 steps, because it's another part of a blueprint that we can do to actually get us to where we need to be. And so your contact information is basically you want to go to how do you want our listeners to
the best place to go to find us is aesnation.com.
Okay, awesome. So I'll make sure that goes into the show notes, and then they can go to aesnation.com and they can look for the book. Basically,
yeah, they'll see it on the homepage.
Cool, and everything a lot of stuff we went over, but it'll be a little bit more detailed. That'd be awesome. Awesome. This has really been awesome. I just want to thank you so much for taking the time to share with us today, and your knowledge and this these 6 things that really will help everyone if they implement it. And then you get to go play golf, but you got to wear your.
Well, I got to work on the last one, number 6, the good quality of life, and I wish everyone else let's go out and make a difference. We got all our current clients and future clients and customers counting on us. We can't let them down, so we got to do well on all 6. Wish you the best.
All right, thanks so much. Hey, I hope you really enjoyed that. John just delivered some killer content, and I just want to give you a little brief overview, and you need to come back and do this again. Take notes, because it is 6 things that can help you grow your business to exponential growth. 1, you want to nail it. You want world-class customer experience. You want to scale it. You want to scale your business so that it will grow. You want to systematize it so that you don't become the key driver. The systems become the slave to the business. You want to monetize it. You want to increase your profitability. You want to bring people in that will help you build equity and create more profit within your business. You want to keep it, some of that money for personal finance, your personal future. And then 6, you want to live it, your business support. That's why you went into business, was to live it. So let's do that. Again, go back, listen to this again. It is well worth your time to implement a bunch of this stuff into your strategies. Have a great week, great day, be profitable, and grow your business to your lifestyle. Again, I want to thank you for joining us and investing your time with us today. I hope you enjoyed this week's episode, and if you did, go to iTunes and give us a shout out. You can also go to our website, www.contractorsecretweapon.com, and check out today's episode and leave us a comment in the bottom of the page. And if you haven't gotten your 15 secret weapon strategies to getting higher end customers, get it while you're at the website. Also, I want to thank again our sponsors for keeping this podcast alive, for your profit-making pleasure. And so go be profitable this week. Work smarter, not harder, and learn how to leverage your time and your knowledge so that you can be more profitable. Again, see you next week.
Thanks for joining us for another weekly episode of the Contractors Secret Weapon podcast with Dave Negri. We would love to hear your comments about this episode, so visit us online at www.contractorssecretweapon.com and let us hear your thoughts. If you are listening via iTunes, please leave us a positive review. The more positive reviews we receive, the more other contractors will benefit from this show. Thank you, and see you next time here on the Contractors Secret Weapon podcast.